For DP, a trekking guide, the Himalayan mountains of Nepal are a refuge from the modern ills of the city. He relishes time away from the crowds, water shortages, and pollution of the capital, Kathmandu.
Mountains have a very good fresh air. You can see just the background. It's a so big forest and water, enough water, how much we want, and we can feel also very extra energy on the mountain.
But he also wants to bring people to these majestic mountainscapes to see the clear and present dangers of global warming. After an 8-hour drive in a Jeep, DP leads us on a 3-day trek into the peaks, where he says evidence of climate change is most visible. Soon into the trek, DP points to a chasm of rubble, one of many landslides triggered by the torrential rains of the monsoon.
This is a quite big landslide. Every monsoon we have got this problems in Nepal.
Scientists expect this kind of extreme weather will only intensify as the planet warms. The trail rises to 14,000 feet, and as we gaze up at the mountain peaks, we see the Kenjin Glacier.
When I was first time here, it's about 17 years ago, the glacier was very down, about 10 or 20 meters down. But now it's melting every day and getting higher. And you can see how the glacier, it's called Langtang Niru. When I was first time here, I saw this glacier until down here.
Just beneath the glacier, we find the town of Kenjin and a Buddhist monastery. Jandu Lama remembers how the weather here was different when he was a child.
I remember when I was in a small, that time it's almost like this snow coming here, But now it's very few. Last year we have just only like this snow, very few.
Every summer, as the weather grows warmer, the shepherds and their yak leave Kenjin village and head for higher and cooler altitudes. 2 hours at the mountain, we find them celebrating a ritual to welcome the animals back. They ask for good health as they make their way further up the trail. Gyalbu Tamang, a yak herder, tells us that when it's too warm, the grass dries up, so the production of milk goes down. If there's not enough grass, the animals die. Every year about 100 yaks die because they don't get enough food and it's too hot. But Tamang doesn't blame greenhouse gases for the problem. He blames us. The glaciers are receding because more and more trekkers and people are coming here, he says. That's why it isn't raining but getting hotter. What affects a local yak herder at this altitude can have an even greater impact for those downstream along the glacier-fed rivers in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Less snow and smaller glaciers here in the Himalayas will mean less melting water for the millions who live downstream.
Because glacier melting is highest in the Himalaya region compared to any other parts of the world, and the glacier melting is actually an indicator of climate change.
Madhav Karki directs EasyMod, an international NGO that focuses on the health of the Himalayas. This year, the organization has designated one glacier in the Langtang region as a benchmark. They'll monitor its changes and try to predict the overall impacts of climate change on the Himalayas, a subject about which there's very little scientific understanding.
This rate goes in by 2050, two-thirds of the glacier will be gone, and by 2100 all glacier will be gone. So this means a very huge impact on the rivers like Ganges, the Indus, the Brahmaputra. In fact, the prediction are that this river may turn into seasonal river. So it means that billions of people will be impacted.
In the Kathmandu Valley, people are already getting a taste of how that could feel. Nepal relies on the seasons for much of its water. When the monsoon comes, it's one of the world's most water-rich countries. But in the dry season, the people are often parched. Many residents of Kathmandu spend hours each day waiting for water tankers or lining up to take their water from natural springs. This is because the Nepali government has been hobbled by political instability, and there's little infrastructure to store and distribute water. Soon the monsoon will come and relieve the pressure on Kathmandu's thirsty residents. DP will have to wait out the monsoon season amid the urban clamor of Kathmandu.
It's actually, if I say honestly to you, I don't like the Kathmandu. It's so much pollutions in there, and you couldn't get to even a fresh air.
In the fall, the rains will subside, and he will guide another group of trekkers back to the glacial peaks, the source of Kathmandu's water and a warning sign for the rest of the world.